Howdy everyone! Let's go back to 2011, aka one of the best years for gaming. We got so many great releases such as Batman Arkham City, Skyrim, Portal 2, Uncharted 3, LA Noire, Mass Effect 2 getting released on the PS3, and of course, the Black Eyed Peas experience. And that is just a small handful of them. No human would have been able to play all these games back in 2011. Well, it's over 10 years later, and I'm finally getting around to a 2011 release that I've never touched. Well, I played a little bit of it when I had that PlayStation Now trial a couple years back, but cloud gaming kind of made the whole game laggy. But the point is, I'm going to talk about Sonic Generations. This was a game released to celebrate the Sonic franchise's 20th anniversary. Was it 20th? I'm bad at math. The game released in 1991, this one released in 2011. Okay, I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. 2011, 20 years after 1991. But this game released, hopefully, to redeem itself from its 15th anniversary. You know, Sonic 06. And that Sonic 1 remake on the Game Boy Advance that was garbage. The game was intended to pay tribute to the history of the franchise, with both modern and classic Sonic teaming up together, No Way Home style. They revisit remade versions of some of the iconic levels throughout the years, spanning from the 1991 original to 2010 Sonic Colors, which only came out a year prior by the time Generations released. I saw the game for pretty cheap on Steam a while back, so I yeeted it right into my backlog. And a few days later, it got announced that the game would be playable via backwards compatibility on Xbox in 4K, 60 frames per second. Perfect timing. I still decided to play it on Steam because how much of a difference could it be? The first level of Sonic Generations begins right as I selected New Game. I got to play a recreation of Green Hill Zone from the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I was playing as a classic version of Sonic, resembling the original Genesis covers. Omu Chow also makes a return to give tutorials throughout the game. Unfortunately, I can't lift it up and torture it like in Sonic Adventure 2. So things are going pretty well, until my controller randomly disconnects. I can't move at all. That was pretty odd. After restarting the game, I finally got it working. Besides that glitch, it was a pretty solid beginning. Upon completing the level, it's followed by another cutscene with another variant of Sonic celebrating his birthday. We have many appearances, from Tails to Knuckles to Amy, Cream, Rogue, or is it Rouge, Blaze, Team Chaotix, but no Big the Cat though, because screw Big the Cat and his garbage fishing levels. Amy, what the hell are you trying to do? So this big monster shows up, and everyone is sucked into a void, and Sonic wakes up in Green Hill Zone, leading to the start of the modern rendition of the level. I like the idea of having a 2D and a 3D version of the same level. And the modern levels of Sonic Generations are pretty great, but something that kind of bothered me is that in each modern level, a huge chunk of it is still in 2D. Not that I mind, but I would rather have a fully 3D level, similar to the Sonic Adventure games. But also have the elements from some of the recent games, such as the boosting and sidestepping, which the modern levels do have, to be fair. So we rescue Tails and we hear a bunch of jokes about the previous Sonic games.
No stranger than rescuing genies in magic books or saving aliens in an interstellar amusement park.
So the next level is Chemical Plant, which is pretty nice. The music is just iconic. I remember playing these levels on the Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube back in the day.
And that pink water makes me really nervous for some reason.
Well, yeah, of course it makes you nervous with this music constantly playing. So up next is Sky Sanctuary from Sonic and Knuckles. Unfortunately, to move on to the boss fight, I had to do these missions. Basically, I had to replay levels, but under certain conditions. There are a bunch to choose from, though I only had to do one from each stage to move on with the story. They're relatively quick to do, but it felt redundant, and it seemed like their only purpose was to pad out the game. But before I go on, pinball! Okay, that was fun. Alright, moving on. The first challenge I did was in Chemical Plant. I had to have Tails fly me through the level, and it basically turned into an easy version of Flappy Bird. Afterwards, I ran into Metal Sonic. He is the first of the rival battles. These are basically mini-bosses that are kinda mandatory to unlock the final boss. The fight was pretty quick and easy. Up next was the Green Hill mission. I basically had to beat the level quickly because the entire ground was crumbling. For the Sky Sanctuaries challenge, I had to dig up coins with the help of Knuckles. There's a big arrow on top of the screen that points me to where to go, I just had to push a button for Knuckles to do his digging. It felt so clunky. I'd rather deal with the treasure hunting levels from the adventure games. At least they had the iconic rapping. And the first major boss is pretty crappy. The first phase involved simply dodging the death egg, but the second phase is pretty frustrating. I have to trick the boss into punching a bomb and then climb on top of it. The problem is that jumping on the arm is a pain in the ass to do, but I eventually beat him and I was able to move on. So the next cutscene plays out and I've noticed something. How come classic Tails can talk, but classic Sonic stays silent? And where are the classic versions of the other characters such as Knuckles, Amy, and even Team Chaotix? Team Chaotix had their own game for the 32X. Classic versions of them definitely have to be out there somewhere. So up next is the Dreamcast era, my favorite portion of the game. First level up is Speed Highway from Sonic Adventure. This level is still a classic. Sonic Adventure is actually one of the first games I've ever played. Well, not Sonic Adventure, I really mean Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut on the GameCube, which is inferior because bugs. But anyway, I'm immediately going into the next 3 levels with a huge nostalgia bias. So yeah, Speed Highway. It's still awesome. I love the music. I still have no idea what this guy is saying. Up and down and all around. And I love the amount of detail throughout. We got the Chow in Space posters. There's also a sign promoting Chow Gelato. I kinda wanna try that. And after Speed Highway is a recreation of one of the greatest video game levels of all time. City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. Or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube, which is the one that I personally played and grew up with. It's still goddamn great. The classic version of the level is a ton of fun. It's nice how the truck from the original game turns into this nemesis-like enemy that follows you everywhere and does everything it can to murder you. And the modern version of the level is just perfection. It really brought me back to the GameCube days. The fast pace of the level, the music, that song is iconic. Everything about this level, just... I love City Escape. These posters were definitely not in the original though. Fortunately, Mighty and Ray were found 7 years later in the Sonic Mania DLC. No Fang though. One thing I've noticed is how awkward these cutscenes can get. Like whenever Sonic saves someone, we get something like this. Can Sonic talk? Say something! Alright, so next I played a level from Sonic Heroes. I didn't care much for that game back in the day. I wasn't a fan of having to replay levels constantly, and the dialogue was pretty cringy even for the 2000s. But this rendition of Seaside Hill was pretty decent. Maybe because they took out what I hated about Heroes, like the repetitiveness, the dialogue, and having to search for hermit crabs. The music is pretty nostalgic too. So now it's time for some more challenge levels. Damn it. So the Seaside Hill challenge I picked arms every enemy with a shield. I need to command Rouge to shoot out hearts, and these hearts make the robots simp for her? Sure. But similar to the Knuckles challenge from earlier, it's super clunky. Sonic is supposed to move fast, and I can't because I'm stuck doing this. And after that, I ran into Shadow. Time for another mini-boss. I love how the opening to Sonic Adventure 2 gets remade. And just like the Metal Sonic fight, it was quick and easy. It would probably be funnier if Shadow had a gun. Though it kinda doesn't make sense that I have to fight him, though. Aren't Sonic and Shadow cool with each other now? The next challenge I did was a race for Speed Highway. I simply just had to finish the level quickly. For the City Escape mission, I had to go through the level but with no rings. The only way I could get a ring is to press Y and have Cream give me one. Though I never really had to do that, because, you know, City Escape is just engraved in my head. I finally have the next boss unlocked, and it's Chaos. Yep, the next boss is Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure. And just like in Sonic Adventure, it's set during the third act of the Batman. Overall, I love the music, I love the redesign of Chaos, and overall, it was fun to do this fight again. Next up are the modern levels, starting with Crisis City from Sonic 06. Okay, I've heard nothing but terrible things about this game. I remember playing a demo at a kiosk and FYE many years ago for a few minutes, and I hated it. I'm sure if it got remade with all the bugs fixed, the game would probably get a decent redemption arc. So I'm playing through Crisis City, and my controller locked up again. Sega seriously never bothered to fix this bug? Aside from that mishap, the classic version was a decent level. And then I started up the modern version and what the fuck? Is anything related to Sonic 06 just cursed? Next is the Rooftop Run from Sonic Unleashed. I liked Unleashed when I actually played as Sonic. When I played as the Werehog, it straight up sucked. It was basically like playing a discount version of God of War. Fortunately, the Werehog is nowhere to be seen in Sonic Generations. Yes! Yes! Both modern and classic versions were a ton of fun to play through, and it kinda gets ridiculous at one point. Sonic is doing some parkour. The final level is Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. I have never played Sonic Colors or its half-assed remaster, but I might one day. Both levels went on for a bit too long, and at times they were clunky, especially the modern version of the level. But they were both pretty decent overall. So I freed the last friend, Charmy B.
I'm a freebie! Freebie! Freebie!
Damn, this is cringe. Okay, so I had to do one more set of challenges, starting with this Blaze mission in Crisis City. It's also dumb and clunky. I have to go through this level slowly so that Blaze can put out all the fires. For some reason, Silver wants to kill Sonic. Don't know why. So after that, I ran through the last two challenges, going through Rooftop Run with a snowboard, and using this rocket thing to get through Planet Wisp. Both were pretty quick and painless. I finally get to the boss, Egg Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed. This boss is a freaking pain to get through. It got repetitive, and it dragged on forever. And I'm not gonna lie, I died repeatedly. It was a frustrating boss. I killed it after finally resorting to the upgrade system that got introduced earlier in the game. So I got all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and now it's time to face the Time Eater. It's the final boss of the game, but all of Sonic's friends are here. Not to help, but to talk on the phone for moral support. Even Silver and Shadow are there. After trying to fight Sonic, the plot of Sonic games make no sense. The final boss itself was extremely underwhelming. I charged at the weak point 3 times and that's it. It's similar to the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2, but this feels a lot less exciting. There's less of an epic build-up, and the music is very generic. So modern and classic Sonic defeat the Time Eater and go straight back to the party. No cutscene of the Time Eater being defeated, we just abruptly cut back to the party.
Wow, where does somebody put all those gold rings?
That actually is a really good question.
Hey Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
Yeah, there's some bestiality in your future. So the credits start rolling and they show the original levels. Sweet. And then we got one final post-credit scene with both Eggmen.
Do we ever win? That depends on your definition of win. Beating Sonic? Oh, well then no. That doesn't give me much hope. Maybe I'll go back and get my teaching degree. That's not a bad idea. I've always enjoyed telling people what to do.
Maybe if Eggman got his teaching degree, there might be a timeline where Shadow the Hedgehog doesn't piss on his wife. And as a result, he doesn't piss on the moon. So Sonic Generations is a pretty decent game. The game actually aged a whole lot better, especially with the Dreamcast era, and to an extent the modern era as well, having this sense of nostalgia. Plus the gameplay is pretty good, except for when the bugs come out. The story is pretty bland, and some of the cutscenes are cringeworthy. Plus there is some padding in the form of missions. But overall, Generations is a short and sweet experience. I actually wouldn't mind getting a sequel with even more levels getting remade. Okay, there kinda is a sequel in the form of Sonic Forces. It brings the return of classic Sonic, so I guess it could be considered a follow-up. It's been in my backlog for a while, so I might as well check that out too.
A few moments later.
Sonic Team, what kind of drugs were you taking while making this game?